Hey everyone, well, welcome back to my channel. Okay, well, in my last video I posted, I showed you that I was actually working on that tractor right over there, that 8070. And hopefully today my new, the correct size fuel line will be coming for that. But anyway, this video I'm going to be showing here right quick something I picked up from my neighbor. It's called a meter max, and it's for testing the corn units in our corn planter. And so I actually took one unit off on Saturday just to kind of playing with it, trying to figure it out. And this is the unit right here. This here is actually a temporary faceplate. Down there's the finger pickups. Each one of those picks up a kernel of corn. As it comes round, it drops in through a little hole right back there onto a belt, a little rubber belt that's got like a little paddle cup on it. And then it drops it right out the bottom of the unit right here, down the seed tube and into the ground. And so basically what this machine does is just to check to make sure that you're getting good singulation. One kernel per finger is what you want. And so in reality, once you get it going, there should be one kernel in every one of these holes in between each one of these paddles. And I actually bought this meter max off of like I say, off my neighbor just south of me. And anyway, come to find out, he bought it from the guy that we always took our units to, up east of here. And because we always took our units to the guy about every 3 years to have him calibrate them. And my neighbor told me they think they bought this thing about a year or so ago. And the last time I had my units to the guy up east was 2020. It's written down on the back of the unit, 2020. I'll go ahead and put you in my pocket there. And so anyway, I didn't know that the guy up east had stopped doing it until I saw my neighbor post this meter max for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And so once I found out that he found out about it, I bought it because I don't know of anybody else that does these as far as calibration and that kind of stuff. And so I picked it up from him. That way now I can do it myself. And so like I say, the last time these were done was 2020, so technically it doesn't really need to be checked out until 2023, next year. However, I did pull number 12 row unit off the planter, and just to play around with it and see how it works. And so I got a bag of old seed corn here. Well, not old, it's actually left over from last year cleaning out the planter and that kind of stuff. And so this little hopper sits right up on top there. You can dump your corn in the top of that. And this here gives you an RPM readout. I've got a paperwork here. And you go by your row width, your population, miles per hour, and RPM. And so for what I want 83 RPM. Now, the one thing I am finding out about this, I'm going to have to check it out. Like I say, it won't be until summertime project and or next winter when I'm ready to do it and have more time. This little red handle right here, that is how you set your RPM. Well, once you get going, if you push down on the handle, it speeds everything up. You pull up, it slows everything down. The problem I'm finding is it wants to slow down on its own. And so we'll go ahead and turn it on here. You can see the belt going. And right there, you can see how the RPM is slowly dropping. And so I'm going to have to check this clutch out. If you can see that, well, let's see here. You can see as I push down the handle, there we're speeding back up to about 83 RPM, and that's what we want for my setting. And like I say, there should be a kernel of corn in each one of those holes. So we'll go ahead and shut that back off for right now. Put you back in my pocket, that way I can use both hands. And the corn goes down in here, it goes along this line, down, then back across on the bottom side right here, and then drops out this tube. And so I gotta find a bucket for the corn to drop in. Okay, well, I found all the buckets that we use for the bean planter. There's one we use for corn. It's got that pink stuff inside of it. And like they say, I think that's one of the strongest forces of nature. 2 5-gallon buckets stuck together. Almost nearly impossible to get pulled apart. And so, let me see here. Okay, let's get a little bit of corn scooped out. Even came with this handy dandy little scoop. Looks like a little garden trowel you could dig in the dirt with. And then it also came with some other odds and ends here in this bucket. But like I say, let's see what we can do. There's one. Okay, that's got the little hopper here all filled up, basically. Now let's just go ahead and throw one more in. It's not going to hurt anything. There we go. Okay, the bucket is right there underneath the drop tube. And so we got the RPM on. Now you see that vacuum gauge. Just looking at this thing can also be, you got to have more equipment, but this thing can also be set up to calibrate a vacuum meter, which is actually what a lot of the newer planters have. And I'm assuming that would sit right in here and drive off of this part right here, because you got this vacuum tube that you hook to it. However, like I say, just looking at it, you got to have a vac setup that ties on right here, and then I'm assuming it somehow correlates to this big thing back here on the back. It's like a PVC setup deal. But like I say, I don't weir and finger pickup. And so I don't even need that part of it. Okay, let's hit the on switch and see what happens. Okay. Well, for the most part, we're looking pretty good. right there is one blank, and right there's a double. There's a blank. However, on down here won't look too bad. There's a double. The thing I gotta find out though is how do you adjust this? If you're having too many blanks or too many doubles, how do you adjust the unit here? That's what I gotta figure out. In fact, I may actually end up contacting the guy that who owned this thing for years up east of us, and talk to him about it. Okay, I was trying to hold that clutch at approximately 83 RPM. Just trying to keep a consistent RPM on it. And so far we're not looking too bad. It's kind of odd though. I'm getting a blank and a double right there together, and I got a blank and a double right here together. Move on down the line. There's one blank. Okay, doing the same thing again. I'm trying to hold that clutch right at approximately 83 RPM. And then that way, like I say, trying to get some consistent RPM here. And so, like I say, I keep seeing a blank thrown in. There's a blank, and then on down here, let's see. Here's a blank. And then, that's all I'm seeing right now. Just those two. But they're about, putting her 2 feet apart. Okay, well, there you can kind of see how it works. You can see that finger right there. It's got a kernel, and then once it comes on up, this kernel here will drop off of it. And that it passes over like a little bubble right there, which raises it up and down, and in order to let any doubles drop out. And that way it holds on to one single kernel. And it's got a little tiny brush right here to help take and knock any doubles off as well. And so, Let me take and back the RPM down and to run it slow with that gate open. Yep, gotta watch, I don't want it throwing corn everywhere. Like I say, it drops the kernel of corn back into that little hole. Okay, there's real slow. You can see it work in slow motion, basically. Okay, well, sure enough, must be the clutch or something don't want to jump. Okay, well, like I say, that gives you a rough idea of what it does. And so it acts like the slip clutch on this motor unit right down here is wanting to slip on me for some reason. I'm not sure why. But anyway, that gives you a rough idea of what this little gadget does. So like I say, I'm going to be taking this unit back off and putting it back onto the planter. And then I'll be putting this thing away and out of the way for now, because like I say, the units don't need to be gone through until next year, but at least gives me a chance to test it all out. So take care.